Welcome to the third of our three-part video series on participatory science. The series is organized by the California Naturalist Program at the University of California's Division of Agriculture and Natural Resources, and the Center for Community and Citizen Science at the University of California Davis School of Education. In this video, we will take a deeper look at collaborative and co-created projects, which represent a specific subset of participatory science. We will draw on examples from UC Cooperative Extension and UC Agriculture and Natural Resources, as well as highlight a few key design features for project managers and coordinators that build on those introduced in previous videos. In our previous videos, we reviewed the basics of participatory science and looked further into contributory projects. Here, we consider collaborative and co-created projects. These projects are distinct from contributory projects in that public participation extends beyond collecting and contributing data. In collaborative projects, members of the public may be involved in developing explanations, refining methods, and analyzing data. In co-created projects, members of the public are typically involved in every stage of the research process, from question formulation to dissemination of results. In many co-created projects, the research is even initiated and carried out largely by community members, with professional researchers playing a more limited role. Collaborative and co-created participatory projects offer a number of potential benefits. Bringing members of the public into different aspects of the research process creates opportunities for diverse individuals and groups to contribute their knowledge to address community concerns and other environmental problem-solving efforts. Most environmental problems are complex and require solutions that are responsive to the values, perspectives, and knowledge of multiple groups. Formal and informal interactions may allow for this, in addition to fostering increased trust and mutual understanding between researchers, land managers, and communities. As a result, research findings may be more likely taken up and used in policy and management decisions, as well as everyday decisions by individual participants. UCANR and Cooperative Extension broadly have a long tradition of engaging in collaborative research with farmers, ranchers, land managers, and increasingly, a much wider variety of communities. While these histories of collaboration may not be perfectly aligned with the definitions of collaborative and co-created participatory projects, there are many synergies and areas of alignment. In the realm of youth development, for instance, youth participatory action research projects at UCANR support young people in researching and taking action on personally relevant issues in their communities, a type of research that could be considered a form of participatory science. California Climate Stewards, as another example, conduct community resilience assessments by drawing from their local knowledge. Finally, regular contact with clientele communities in the early stages of the research process helps advisors and extension specialists understand and prioritize research needs. This kind of communication might seem outside the bounds of meaningful participatory science, but in some cases, it can evolve into close consultation, where there is in-depth technical input into not only research questions, but also research design. Let's take a deeper look at an example of this, focusing on research led by UC Rangelands. Collaborative research focused on rangeland management led by UC Rangelands tapped into the unique expertise of ranchers and managers to design an experiment testing different approaches to adaptive management. In this example, the ranchers and managers served as both research subjects and as collaborators in experimental design. They contributed their views about different approaches to rangeland management in order to structure environmental treatment across 8 pastures. Although the participants did not carry out the experiments themselves, their deep experience and technical knowledge played a direct role in shaping the study and guiding it throughout the process. Professional researchers were able to learn from the participants in multiple ways, through surveys and interviews, and through the results of experiments that they co-designed. The project also provided a forum in which diverse interest groups, who are sometimes in conflict with one another, could share knowledge and develop collaborative relationships. While there may be differences between this example of UC Rangeland's research and more conventional definitions of participatory science, there are many areas of overlap, as those with a direct interest in the research help shape the scientific process. Members of the public have critical expertise to contribute to scientific research that professional researchers may lack. Different types of knowledge, such as traditional ecological knowledge and local knowledge, can be useful in identifying appropriate indicators. Developing efficient sample schemes, avoiding mistakes, planning logistics, efficiently using time and resources, and maintaining safety. Important to note, however, is that some indigenous traditional ecological knowledge, in particular, might be sensitive and inappropriate to share with non-indigenous groups. It's important to openly discuss this and get appropriate permissions from any indigenous partners, as indigenous data sovereignty should be considered a top priority in projects with tribal partners. There are many touchpoints in the research process in which these diverse knowledges can be explicitly leveraged to strengthen the research. This may include formally organized events or processes such as planning meetings, field testing of methods, and data interpretation, in which all participants are invited on equal footing as the researchers to offer feedback and shape the direction of the research process. This may also occur in informal interactions, like phone calls or even asynchronous processes, such as through online communication platforms. While these principles are in part what distinguish collaborative and co-created projects from contributory projects may borrow from these principles as well to harness the power of participant knowledge and deepen opportunities for engagement. All participatory science projects present an opportunity to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion. Intentional design at each step can include people who are traditionally excluded from science and build capacity through knowledge sharing. This may come into play at multiple points. For example, whether the topic being studied relates to historically marginalized communities, whether and how traditionally excluded groups are invited to participate in the research, the accessibility of the site and materials, and recruitment and retention of participants. Listening and learning from each other after acknowledging who has been silenced throughout history, and the resulting power dynamics, will better allow all groups to contribute their strengths. Co-created projects that originate directly from communities may provide a particularly appropriate forum for advancing equity, as these projects are more likely to be directly responsive to community needs and strengths. Both the California Naturalist course and the Climate Stewards course, for instance, allows the course participants to identify their community science project, helping to ensure local and cultural relevance. In these and other projects, it is important to respect and honor community control over research questions, methods, and findings, especially if the topics being investigated are sensitive or involve conflict. Within all types of participatory science projects, it is important to create space for and honor multiple ways of knowing, from historical accounts to traditional knowledge to conventional science, as valid ways to make sense of the world. Working collaboratively to identify and communicate roles, decision-making processes, and data collection and sharing procedures is an important way to ensure that everyone's voices are heard in project design and implementation. Thank you for watching the third of our three-part video series on participatory science. Below this video, we have included references and resources with further information. For more information, please reach out to the California Naturalist Program at the UC Division of Agriculture and Natural Resources, or the Center for Community and Citizen Science at the UC Davis School of Education. There may be additional resources and support available to those with specific questions, challenges, or concerns.